All right, here we go.
Next up, comparison operators. I use this like a gajillion times a day. So this is really useful.
David's a very comparative guy.
Yeah. You always want to do stuff with data where you're comparing it to other things, or you're making sure, it's after this date, and you're always trying to limit it because it's not very useful just looking at the data as a whole.
Yeah.
Of all time, compare it.
The beauty of SQL is it allows you to slice and dice. So
slice and dice.
You really want to take advantage of it. All right, David, let's go through these.
Okay, so comparison operators are things that you've learned probably in elementary school. They're things that you use to compare one thing to another. So some common ones, there's a lot, but some common ones is the equal sign. That's comparing one thing to another thing. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So that's how you do those symbols for greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. What's just for kicks? How do you do not equal to?
There's two ways you can do it in MySQL. This is one that I had never seen before I started working here and using SQL. This means not equal to. This is something that I knew from before, but the exclamation mark and then equal sign.
Yep, it's like not equal to.
So these are both not equal to. These are pretty self-explanatory.
All right. So so far we've just been using equals, right? And we've been using the equal sign when we want to connect different tables together. But you could also use it to limit results to just one specific column. In the previous example, we limited it to 3 columns, but let's say we just wanted to limit it to 1. Instead of using we could use the equal sign and save our fingers a little bit from typing 2 parentheses.
So if we just wanted to be comedy, there would be. We'd come over here, boom, boom, only gives us comedy.
Boom, there it is. So we don't use the equal signs just to kind of connect tables.
And let's show how the not equal sign would work.
Okay.
So if I did the not equals, it should give me everything but comedy.
Yep. Boom.
So there you go, and then you look through, and you don't see comedy. So this is just saying, give me all the categories, give me all the information except when the category equals comedy.
Yeah. So we're just going to go straight into using the greater than or less than symbol. And those are used when you want to compare things to a value or to a date. And so we'll just go straight into that. So typically, let's just figure out how many users have rented at least 3 times. So in startup world, you probably hear about this thing called the aha moment, right? Where you find out, hey, wow, Facebook found out, I don't know if it's an exact number, but Facebook found out, hey, once you reach 7 friends in 10 days, then you're likely to come back to the site like every single day or something like that. You're likely to be a lifelong customer. So a key metric for them is like, okay, let's try to make sure every single person gets 7 people a day. And so they could use a query
in
like
the first
this
10 days.
In the first 10 days. And so they could use these comparison operators to find out how many people are reaching 7 friends a day. For us, we could do how many people are renting at least 3 times a day. Let's pretend that that's our aha moment. If someone rents 3 times, if you rent at least 3 times from us, then you're going to be a lifelong customer.
So in the rental table, I'm going to get started here. So we don't need to do anything more than that. So we just want the r.customer ID. So this will allow us to group by that customer. And then we want to count r.rental ID as num rentals. Okay. And then in the where clause, we want to add in this this condition that says where count is greater than or equal to 3. And then we want to group by 1 here. So we'll come in here.
What's going to happen, though?
I think there's going to be an error.
I think so, too. Let's try that.
Oof. So the issue is we are not able to put a function like count in the where clause.
Yep.
So where should we put it, David?
So you can't put function in the where clause, but you could do this thing called having, and that's what we're introducing now. It's called having. And this is having is basically like the filter function in Excel. If you use Excel, it gives you the result first, and then after getting the results, you could filter off of the results. And so what MySQL is doing is it's actually running. Let's get rid of the count first and show them what that looks like.
Like that?
Yeah, let's see that. So MySQL, when you use having, it's actually pulling all this first and then filtering it using having. When you use where, it does it in the process. Yeah, it limits while it's pulling it.
And the problem is, it can't really do that with a count function because it needs to get all the information before it knows, because it needs to get down to that very last row. before it knows like, oh, this guy either has 3 rentals or doesn't have 3 rentals. So you can move that to the halving, so then it does that segmentation afterwards. So that was a good little way we wanted to introduce the halving clause. Yeah.
Yep.
So should we do one more in this?
Let's give a quick break, and then we'll come back to one more little comparison kind of thing, and then we'll give you that brain buster that we know you're long.